back, everybody. I'm Mish.
I'm Bree, and this is Chat MBTea,
where we talk about life and shoot the shit. So let's, do you got any updates for us?
So I started that nutrition plan.
Yes.
I eat so much food now. Oh my goodness.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I've seen your meals. It's a lot.
It's a lot of food. And it's like every 3 hours. So I'm constantly like, oh my God, it's more food.
Yeah.
But we're doing it. I'm working out. We're getting the
gains.
The muscles. The muscles. My muscles are growing. So I'm in sun. The ADD today is real, so.
Oh boy.
It's going to be a fun one.
Can't wait. So excited.
You?
Not much. My birthday was a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm officially 26.
Ooh.
Yay, I'm closer to 30. Ooh.
It's fine. We're fine.
Is it? Are we?
We're going to be cool 30-year-olds.
Are we?
Yes.
I hope so.
I'm going to keep you young.
As you should.
Mm-hmm. I spike your blood pressure too much for you to be old.
You're not wrong.
I know.
You're not wrong.
I know.
But yeah, that's pretty much, it's been rainy. It's been cold. It's been super shitty outside.
It snowed in North Jersey.
I know. We drove up there yesterday. We went to a rage room.
Ooh.
Yeah. And we were driving up there. It was like over an hour away and there's snow on the ground. And I was like, what?
What is happening?
What's going on? It's April.
Yeah, no, it doesn't care.
No.
The weather's like, whatever.
We'll just trickle in some snow for y'all. Keep it interesting.
Keep you on your toes.
Yeah. Why not?
Never let them know your next move.
No.
Sorry, the ADD is so bad today.
Oh my God. All right, let's get into it.
This is such a serious episode, too.
What are we talking about in this serious episode?
We are talking about things we thought we'd have at 25.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
I think it's still going to be fun because, like, as much as I don't think that either of us are exactly where we pictured ourselves, but I think that what we have currently is better than what we could have imagined.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So I think it'll be really interesting to see the comparison, but I don't know. Like,
also,
I'm just
looking back at what we thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get into it then.
Just a little spoiler alert. I mean, I think the one thing I thought I'd have that I sure as shit don't is emotional stability. And some peace and damn quiet.
It could never be you.
No, it really couldn't.
No. No.
But I feel like we should start by like talking about what our childhood selves thought we'd have. Do you want to go first?
Sure. I think off the bat, I would say what I didn't think I'd have.
Okay.
Which is have a house and be getting married and thinking about kids.
Yeah.
My younger self did not want kids. Maybe not at 10, but like
right
at, maybe 15, say 10-ish years ago. I didn't think I was going to have kids. I didn't think I was going to be getting married, let alone have a house before getting married.
Yeah.
I did think that I was going to be surrounded by dogs.
I think we all knew that you would.
Oh, yeah. Like all the animals. I want a farm. Maybe that's my in 10-year wish.
Can we be farm neighbors?
Yes. I want to live, this kind of off topic.
On a compound?
Yes. We talk about it all the time.
Please.
There's where my parents live, there's that street, the like newer houses. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7-ish houses just on this one street. I'm like, why did we not all just buy a house here and like live together? We could have built underground tunnels. One person could have a pool. One person could have a farm. One person can have the garden growing. And we would just fire put whatever that we would all just gather and hang out. And that's my dream.
Yes.
But yeah, I didn't think I'd be here.
Right.
10 years ago.
That's wild.
It is wild. it's why. I mean, the kids are still kind of in question.
It's fine.
It's in question. But, you know, when you get married, you're kind of on the assumption that you're going to have a family, have the kids. I'm just not ready right now.
Which is fine.
But, you know, we're not married yet either. So I'm sure the time will come. I'm Loki over here trying to convince myself.
You'll get there.
Yeah. But what about you?
I mean, I think it was the opposite. Like, in my head, 25 is like this adult person that like had their life together. And I mean, I'm 25 and I feel like a child with adult money.
Yeah.
But my younger self thought I would be in this house, I'd be getting married. I would, not at 10, but like 16, 17.
Right.
That's where like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, get married. We're gonna have a life. I'm gonna have dogs and kids and all of these crazy things. And I think looking back now, like, I think I always wanted kids when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like a solid 10-year period where I was like, I don't ever want a child.
Mm-hmm. Well, you also work with kids.
I did, yeah.
For a really long time.
Yes. So for 10 years, I taught martial arts to kids, anyone from 4 and up.
Mm-hmm.
And that experience really shaped my thought on children. Not because my kids are bad. They're fantastic. But it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot to go back and forth. You're running around. You're managing all these other people's schedules. Like, it's difficult, and I recognize that. It's like, I don't think I want that.
Yeah.
I don't think I want that.
Right.
But I think now it's like, okay, I think if I found the right person, I'd be open to kids.
Mm-hmm.
But unless I find that person, it's a no.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get it.
You have to, like, I feel like children, this is not what the episode is about. But I feel like if you have kids because of the idea that you should have kids, it's never going to be like a positive experience in this. Like, you almost resent them, I would think.
Yeah.
You could end up.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Not that you will, but you could.
Yeah.
But if you have kids because of the fact that you love a person so much that you feel like it can't be contained between the two of you, and that's why you have a kid, there is nothing that is going to change the positiveness of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, unless it's that, I don't want it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I do have a man that...
No, and I'm not saying it for you. I'm saying
I know.
in general.
I know.
No, you guys would have the cutest babies. I
can't
wait
to
be an aunt. Not yet.
Knock on wood.
Not yet, eventually.
Eventually.
But I can't wait to be an aunt.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the bad aunt. They're going to love me the most, but I'm going to be the bad aunt.
Don't tell me that. I already knew. I know. But I like, you know, we have such a, knock on wood, we have such a nice, peaceful, quiet life together. And I just want to enjoy that as much as possible.
As you should.
So I don't doubt that we will have kids. Like, I do want kids. I want to have a family. I don't know. I think I could be good at being a mom.
You would be a fantastic mom.
Thank you.
I mean that. Like,
I'm a pretty good dog mom, I think. So
you would be the best mom.
Oh,
you really would.
Thank you.
You don't think it's true.
We're not sappy.
Oh, we're not.
Moving on.
Wait, so now we are going to check in. Like, what does reality look like?
For me?
Yeah.
Like, currently?
Yes.
Well, everything I didn't think I would have. Besides a dog. Yeah, I mean, we bought a house almost a year ago. And then we're getting married in less than 5 months. Oh, my God.
That's so exciting.
I'm so stressed. I didn't even picture like what my wedding would look like. Okay. I don't think I would have ever pictured then what it's going to look like. Yeah. So that's been interesting. I did also didn't think that my fiance would be 8 years older than me. That's something that I could say.
Really?
Yeah, I don't, because my parents are 12 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad is older.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, like in my head, I never thought that I was going to be with somebody older, like that much older than me.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why, but it makes sense because also like my brother's 11 years older than me.
Right.
My parents are 12 years apart. You know, he's 8 years older than me.
Everyone's just older than
me.
Except for me.
Except for you, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I would be you know, like probably working corporate.
That's wild.
That is wild. So 10 years ago, actually, when we were applying for colleges and stuff, I wanted to be, I had a few different routes that I wanted to take. One of them being a therapist.
Really?
Yes. And then an FBI agent.
I love that.
Yeah, I really, really wanted to be a detective.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my
that
mom.
Makes sense, though.
And then my mom was like, she goes,
"Oh God."
Wait, let me backtrack for a second. This was the era of Criminal Minds.
Yeah, I know exactly why.
I was
get it.
Obsessed with Criminal Minds, and she would watch episodes with me
and have heart palpitations
yes,
while watching.
She would. And so that's where that dream came from. I wanted to be like Reed. I didn't so much want to be in the field.
Okay.
Like hunting down. I wanted to be like the analytics behind the scenes. Yeah. But then my mom put this image in my head and she was like, I just can't picture you like during training or during, you know, if something were to happen, you get called out or whatever and like running through the streets with a gun chasing a criminal. I said, so I grew up dancing. I grew up doing ballet.
Oh gosh.
So when I started playing tennis, it was like I was prancing across the court. I could never catch the ball because I couldn't run to save my life. I got it eventually. I played tennis all throughout high school and middle school. But it was just so she like put that in my head of like having to run with a gun and like aim. And I was just like, that's probably not for me.
I'm just picturing it now.
Like in one of those pantsuits too. And heels.
I'm seeing JJ from Criminal Minds with your face.
Yeah.
Just
just prancing. Yeah. So she kind of like she scratched that real quick.
Oh my goodness.
Real quick, yeah. And then it was the therapist. And that just didn't. So that was around the time that my parents opened our mental health office. Neither of my parents are therapists, but they opened a clinic and I started working there and I was like, I started seeing the clientele and things like that. And I was like, I don't think I can do this.
Right.
So that was the conversation. And then it was finance. Totally different.
I remember finance.
So I went to school for finance.
Yes.
My degree is in finance, not just like business administration. It was specifically finance. I was good at math, not at calculus, but I was decent with numbers and kind of like analytics. I think analytically.
Right.
So that's what I went to school for. And I thought I was going to work corporate for some amount of years and then end up taking over for the business.
Interesting.
But then I finished school and I did an internship for finance. And, you know, my dad built this, both my parents built this business from scratch, from the ground up. And I thought to myself after the internship, I was like, I would be so stupid not to take this opportunity and learn everything that I possibly could from him while I can.
Absolutely.
Because again, you know, he's older and I wanted to make the most out of working with him, working with my mom and, you know, making them proud. And I'm happy.
I love that.
But I never thought I'd be here at 26. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my whole life story, you guys. Now I run a mental health office.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so weird, like, talking about our day jobs, because
I don't think you'd ever be able to tell.
No. every time I tell someone what I do, they look at me like I have 7 heads.
But to me, it makes sense because
Right.
I know you and I know all the schooling that you've done and I know, what you wanted to do.
Right.
Like all I remember from 5-7 years ago, all you would say is, I want to be an actuary.
Which is not what I am.
Which is not what you're doing.
Like, similar.
Yes. So to me, it makes sense.
Right.
So why don't you go into what you thought?
So, I mean, currently, okay, let's kind of backtrack a bit. So starting from like 10-ish years ago, like 15, I wanted to go into like the finance world with math. I've always been very big into math. Like, I've every statistics course, every math course, I've literally taken every single one of them. And I really thought I wanted to go into the finance world, but not finance specifically, like more like an analyst, building models, stuff like that. So there was a long time that I wanted to be an actuary. And I discovered along the way, I suck at taking tests. And in order to be an actuary, you got to take like 30 tests.
Why don't you tell anyone who's listening that doesn't know what that means? Because
What an actuary is?
Yes.
Okay, so an actuary, the easiest way to explain what an actuary is think about your health insurance, right? And when you're applying for health insurance, you fill out this form. It asks if you're a smoker. Are you overweight? How often do you drink? Do you have any medical conditions that run in your family? And they pretty much take all of those things that you've inputted into the survey, questionnaire, whatever it may be, and they pretty much come up with what they think is like your life expectancy or like how healthy you are. And that pretty much provides the basis as to how much you pay in health insurance. That's just specifically an actuary within health insurance, but that's what an actuary does. And then after that, I was like, okay, I don't really want to do that. I think I want to be a quantitative analyst, which goes more into finance. And pretty much they build models to predict things. So like there's quants that work for the stock market and they pretty much build models to predict how they think the stock market's going to move. So that way people selling stocks have an idea as to when you should buy, when you should be selling, stuff along those lines. And then I took some finance classes and I was a finance minor, but I hated it. Absolutely hated it. So I finished undergrad having absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my degree and decided I was going to go to grad school to go more into applied statistics. I figured I'd want to go into consulting of some sort. Don't know what, but I was like, okay. So I did my first master's at NJIT. And when I was there, I took a course in survival analysis, which is pretty much what pharmaceutical companies use when they're testing new drugs. And pretty much it says, okay, when they're testing it, it's most of the time these drugs are coming out and they're being tested on people who it's like last resort, right? You're going to clinical trials because nothing that they have currently is working. And pretty much it says, okay, did this help to increase survival rate or not? And I thought that was so cool. And I applied, and just nothing came out of it. So I said, let's go for a second master's. And I'm finishing up this master's in May. Oh, wow. Next month.
In a month.
That's wild. And in the process, I figured out that I wanted to go into pharmaceuticals. And from there, I am now a consultant for a pharma solutions company. And honestly, like my main priorities over the last like couple of months have just been work, school, and going to the gym and, really creating a lifestyle that I think is going to be sustainable and overall beneficial. And I couldn't picture it any other way. Like I think about this and like I think about where I am mentally and like I talk about therapy all the time. I check in with myself because I am very self-aware and I'm conscious of the things that need work. And I couldn't imagine being able to get married like right this second at where I am today. Like I've grown a lot, but I still think there's things that like I need to continue working on. And unless I found someone that, one, is working on them with me and brings out the side of me that, how do I phrase this? I want to,
like, makes you want to continue working on yourself,
like,
not just settling into a life.
That, and like, they don't trigger me constantly. Like, I couldn't imagine being like, yeah, let's get married like tomorrow. It's just not where I think I want to be at this current point.
Yeah. It's definitely different than we both expected 10 years ago. Because I also 10 years ago never thought that I'd meet someone and be like, all right, let's get married tomorrow. But that's basically what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 2-year engagement.
Right.
But we got engaged after a year of dating. And after 4 months, we moved in together. But like, I was basically there a month in every day. And that like love at first sight thing, thought it was bullshit my entire life.
Wait, that's the point that I was thinking about earlier, and then I forgot. So the reason why all of this makes so much sense in my brain is because even though Misha's the one getting married and she's very lovey-dovey and she is the romantic currently, she was not.
Oh, no. No.
She was the person, she was like, stop looking at me. What are you doing? Like, very, very much so, like, not cold.
I was
a little cold.
I was a little cold in high school. I didn't like PDA.
You weren't a romantic.
I wasn't a romantic. Like, it was nice when I got flowers or whatever. Like, it was cute. Or, when I got asked to prom, great. But like, I just like, yeah. It's actually really interesting to think about now.
Right. But it makes so much sense why your younger self didn't think about marriage and kids and all of that, because that's not your brain wasn't wired that way at the time.
Right.
And I was romantic.
Yeah.
Was the key word there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
we were opposite.
Literally.
We're opposite now.
I was a cynic.
Yeah.
Through and through. Well, I'm a cynic now.
Yeah.
I was a romantic, but it's so interesting how that works.
Right. This is also off topic. I don't know what's going on, but now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I don't really know where my cynic then came from.
Really?
Because normally, and this is kind of stereotyping a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you have that like cynical perspective on marriage and kids and things like that, it comes usually from experience, right? Like your parents could have a strained relationship, or they could be divorced or something, so you're like, why would I get married if everyone around me is divorced and it never works out? But my parents have a great relationship. They've been married 39 years this year, and they love each other. I grew up in a household where both my parents loved me so much, and still do to this day, that I don't know why in high school
you were cynical.
I was like, I don't ever want to get married. I don't know where that came from.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever really thought about why I was the way that I was.
Yeah. I don't know why that just like, we were talking about it. I'm like, but why?
Right.
As an adult, where you do kind of see more of that and, those perspectives and things like that, I've never thought about it before until now.
I don't know. I think I was definitely like, I watched all Disney movies when I was younger, and like seeing reality is very different. Like, obviously, there are extremely, extremely happy marriages, people who love each other. But if you just look at statistics, which is my brain, the majority of people who get married get divorced. And I was like, I just want to be that tiny percent that's like, absolutely.
Right.
And like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, this is cool. I like this. I want this.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I grew up and I was like, it's all a lie.
It's so crazy.
Which is so weird.
It's crazy. Like, yeah, I'm like, I will be that small percentage. Divorce is not an option.
No, it's not. It's not even a conversation. It's not even a thought.
No, I mean, basically, when we bought this house, we basically got married. We might as well have signed our marriage certificate the day that we signed on this house. But yeah, I don't know.
It's so
and then when we met, it was like, I want kids with you. I want babies. I want a family. Like, I want the house. I want to do all the things.
I want the white picket fence.
Yes. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And, now I want to be a stay-at-home dog mom.
We just had this conversation the other day. No, like, to have time to explore, like, all of your different hobbies and, like, do all of that is so wonderful. I just want to sleep.
Yeah.
I want to sleep so bad.
So that's the thing. Like, I love my sleep. I think I spoke about it in a previous episode. I love my bed so much. I love my sleep. I love peace and quiet. I get cranky when I don't have enough sleep. And like a baby that wakes up every hour in the middle of the night, I'm just like, God damn it.
Can't do it right now.
No, not right now. But eventually, yes. I do just want to enjoy our time of like being engaged and then being married.
Yeah.
But a year ago, I think I was like,
a year ago, she was like, we're having children immediately.
Yeah.
I want all the kids.
Honeymoon, we're going to be so we're getting married August. We were planning on telling our families like the holidays, like this year, the holidays that we were pregnant.
Oh my.
Now I'm like, don't ask me.
Don't leave me alone.
Yeah. So it's very crazy and interesting to see how different we were then and how different we are now.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think another big part of it though is the timeline that we're fed by society, that like you have to have everything done by the end of your 20s, and then your 30s is like this like mystical place that just happens. Now you have your person and you just kind of fade into the background. You know what I mean?
That's it's funny that you brought that out, because that's kind of where I struggle, because I know I'm going to have kids and I want to be a young mom. I want to be a young, cool, do activities with my kids mom.
Right.
But I'm 26. And if I can't imagine, like, I want to wait. I want to enjoy our time, but I also don't want kids when I'm 30.
If you had them now, you'd still have kids when you're...
No, I
just had to point it out.
All right, jackass. I meant I don't want to start
birthing
kids,
children
right at 30. And I'm not, that's still young. Like my sister-in-law, right? My fiance's sister had both kids after 30. She's young. Like I look at her and like it looks fine that she has 2 young kids.
Right.
I don't know why in my brain I'm like, I can't have kids at 30. And like maybe that is a society thing where it's like 30, 35 is old to have kids. I don't know what it is.
I don't really think about children that often. We're just in very different places.
Yeah.
But I do think about getting married and like the idea of being like, okay, well, what happens if I'm 30 when I get married?
Right.
Like, you don't want to have kids when you're 30?
Yeah.
Think about getting married when you're 30.
Right.
And like, it's really not that big of a deal. And like, I fight in my own head all the time where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be so old. And then I think about it and I'm like, it's 5 years away. And if I thought about myself 5 years ago, I was a freaking child.
Yeah.
So like, it's really not that big of a deal. But I do think that it's a societal ideal that's pushed on us. It's like, okay, well, you have to have this done by 25. And then after that, you have to have this done by like 27. You have to be done having kids by 27. Because then at 30, you're now an old hag.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Like,
because also it's interesting because with the advanced medicine and everything now, you can have kids at 30, 35.
Yes.
And it's still young. Like, it's still perfectly normal.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I feel like maybe even society's shifting.
I hope so.
I think it's been shifting where it's like, no, you should be having kids later.
Yeah.
You should be enjoying your 20s. You know, don't have kids and get married until you're 30, 32, whatever. I don't know why for me, it's just, I'm thinking like my brain is like, you need to have kids right now. Otherwise, you're going to be an old mom.
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, I think that I have stopped looking so far in advance because it gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
If I sit and try and plan and figure out and be like, well, when is this? It never works out.
No, so that's the thing. I'm sitting here saying like all of my, I had a plan a year ago. We were going to get married and pop out babies within the next year. And here I am like, no, that's not happening.
Right.
And now I'm like, okay, we'll wait a year. Nothing ever goes according to plan. So please don't anyone listen to me because I know that everything that I'm saying, the complete opposite is going to happen.
What's the saying? You make plans and God laughs.
Yeah, I know. I'm just hoping to get married without
any hiccups. Let's get there.
Just get me through my wedding, and then whatever God has planned, I have faith in.
Absolutely.
This is just my personal opinion now, but I do pray to God that what's meant to be mine will be mine, and what's meant to be will be. So, if that's babies within the first year or 3,
so be it.
So be it. I'm just
I strongly believe in that. I believe in the fact that if something is meant to happen, it will, and when it's supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that's in my own head. So if anyone listening has this issue where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be doing all these things and I'm not, and you freaking out, just take a second and think, be like, okay, what's supposed to be mine will be mine when it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not having something at this point in time, it's because I'm not ready for it.
Right. Yeah, that's really great advice.
Like I think about my job, and how long
I said this to you.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
How long I applied and applied and applied, went through interview process after interview process.
How many jobs did you apply to? Let's just tell everyone who's feeling discouraged.
Oh yeah. So after so just in the year before I got the job that I currently have, I applied to 300 jobs.
Let's just take a moment.
300. About 50% of them I never heard anything back from. The other, I want to say 30, 40%, you got an immediate email saying, no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like that little sliver that gave you like something.
The interview process where you went on like 8.
Oh my gosh, I went through
company. 8
interviews with one company. It was like 3 months, and then they closed the position, which was really upsetting. But no, they asked a wild question. In case anyone was curious, I feel like I need to say this because I think about this question and it keeps me up at night that I actually sat there and answered it. The question I got asked was, if you take a regular 8x10 piece of printer paper, how many times theoretically would you have to fold the printer paper for the thickness of the piece of paper to reach from here to the moon? They gave me the speed of light.
That's the answer?
No. They gave me the speed of light to solve the question.
Oh.
I'm 90% sure that it was like 12 or 14
times.
Yeah. You can't fold a piece of paper more than 8 times, but theoretically.
I wouldn't even know how to begin to answer that question.
So, I was applying, and I wasn't, to get back to the point, I wasn't getting anywhere with my applications, and I wanted a job so badly.
She was stressed.
Stress is an understatement. And now I'm in the position that I'm in now, and I'm like, if I would have gotten something, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I'm doing something that I really enjoy and that I love. And I wouldn't have had this opportunity otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about, life in general, right? If I was supposed to be married right now, I would have been, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm enjoying the time that I have and just seeing where it takes me. that's all you really can do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Don't make plans. Just do the best that you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think also how we differ, because you were talking about getting married and, you know, thinking about having a wedding and whatnot, how different our visions of weddings are.
Oh my gosh,
Not
so
that this
different.
is really on topic.
No.
None of this conversation has been. But you have always, as long as I've known you, you've always said, I'm eloping somewhere beautiful, far away from here. And you still, to this day, stand by that. I don't know what I envisioned my wedding to be 10 years ago, but I'm like the complete opposite now.
Yeah.
We're planning that big wedding, you know, kind of locally for everyone to be able to come.
Yeah.
But, you know, you as an Italian have a huge family that if you were to have that big of a wedding and as the bride, right? Because in Italian culture, I think the bride is like, you have to invite everyone because it's the girl getting married.
Right.
Whereas his side, he's Italian, but, you know, his mom's kind of like with the list getting, you know, she could be picky because his sister already got married and everyone that needed to be invited was invited.
Right.
But my family's not that big.
Right.
So we're having a bigger wedding than just eloping.
Right. Definitely.
So I think that's funny too.
I think for me personally, and it's nothing against big weddings. I think they're beautiful. They're so much fun. I think that I'm a person that I know a lot of people. Like a lot of people know my name. They're like, oh, that's Brie, blah, 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 blah. Like, but I have approximately 10 to 15 people that truly know me. And when I think about that special of a day, I want it to be with only those people that truly understand the gravity of how important that day is to me. And that's it. Everybody else who's like excited and they're like, oh, I'm getting to go to this wedding. Like, that's wonderful. And I appreciate you for wanting to be there. But at the end of the day, I want it to be celebrated with the people that, one, know me through and through, and two, can celebrate without, this is such a guinea thing, but like without the malocchio, right? Without anyone coming and wishing to take away any of, you know, my good fortune, whatever it may be. But no.
Yeah.
When I'm so ready. I got you. I know you're not Italian, but
no,
we're pouring my superstitions to your wedding.
Trust me, because the amount of times that my fiance's been like, someone's getting sick after this wedding. Like,
it's not going to be you guys, though. I promise you.
I
know. I'm telling you right now, no.
There was one time that I had a really bad headache, and he told his mom, and she did Malocchio like through the phone, and like my headache went away. Yeah, she's done that a couple times, but yeah, we have something similar in Russian culture, but yeah, we threw our mom a surprise 60th last year, and my fiance and I didn't get sick. Neither did me and my brother and my dad kind of planned and threw this party in Florida. And the day after, both my parents, like deathbed sick for a month. They were stuck there. And remember, what was it? Almost 3 years ago now, that party for my dad that we threw for his birthday.
Yes.
And I got COVID that night.
Yes.
Yeah. So someone's bound to get sick.
No, I'm so serious. Like, and I know it's not like within everyone's tradition, and like that's fine. But I am coming with the Italian horn on a pin for everyone. Okay. And all you have to do, like, pin it with inside, like your dress or whatever. And anyone who wishes bad on you, it'll be reflected, and that's how you get rid of it. That or like the horns. Yeah, yeah. But if you can't walk around all day, like shooting horns at people, no Malocchio here. No Malocchio.
Stay away from me.
That or oh my gosh, I think my grandma used to do it where you spit 3 times. So if someone says something like positive, like, oh, you have such a beautiful home, you're like,
yeah, that my mom does that. So that's the thing for us too. It's similar to like knock on wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
Yeah. So no, nothing. No bad energy that day.
I love you for it.
I love you.
So, yeah. Anyway, back on topic.
To what we were talking about. Ooh, this is a good one. Do you have any advice to our younger selves? What would you tell your 18-year-old self?
To my 18-year-old self, I'm trying to think where I was at 18. We were seniors in high school going off to college.
I was in college at 18.
You were in college.
We could just say like as seniors in high school.
Seniors
I feel like
in
that's
high school. I would probably say don't be a cynic. And don't make any plans.
Okay.
I think because when you have something in your head, right? Like I had this FBI analytics job in my head for years. It's really something that I wanted to do. I think I've talked about this before. I'm a huge true crime person. Like it's half of my personality and the other half is my dog. Okay. So it's something that I really, really wanted to do was work in that field.
Right.
But, you know, I went into something completely different and I'm now doing something completely different from that. So, you know, don't be a cynic because what's meant to be yours will be yours. And you just have to have faith and, you know, life works, God works in mysterious ways. Yeah. So just, I know it's cheesy, but trust the process.
Literally.
What about you? What would you tell your younger self?
Poor
Brie at 18.
Senior in high school Brie. She needed a hug.
Like, I don't think I hugged you enough.
You gave me plenty of hugs. I think that she needed me to give her a hug.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To my younger self, I think I would say it gets better. It gets so much better than you could have ever imagined. It's truly a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful life. And there is not a single thing that you've thought of or dreamt that isn't bigger and better now at 25 than you could have even possibly imagined at that point in time. I think I'd also like to say I'm sorry to her.
Oh,
yeah.
Why?
I was so hard on her.
You were
so hard. I'm like getting like emotional, but like, I was so hard on her, and she deserves so much love and acceptance. And I hope for anyone that's listening that can look back at yourself and see these things within yourself, that you reflect and give that version of yourself a hug and apologize and say it's going to be okay, because it will be okay.
That's really beautiful. Oh,
don't cry, because if you start, I'll start.
You already are.
I know, but like, it's crazy, like being where I'm at today, and like thinking of the type of place I was in at that time, and I can't imagine. I can't imagine. You know?
Yeah.
Like she needed a hug, like a big hug, and
knowing that everything was going to work out.
And it's beautiful. Life is beautiful. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I love you.
I love you.
And your 18-year-old self.
I love your 18-year-old self as well.
She loves you back.
That was so sappy.
That was really sappy.
I'm so sorry. We don't sap very often, but I felt like, you know what? We're going to be, I don't know. Like there's a lot of us that like you guys don't get to see on the podcast, but I do feel like when we talk about topics, like I want to be as open as possible.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Because it's real. It's the truth.
And for anyone listening, you know, that's kind of struggling with where you're at and where you're going to be, it's just a reminder that things will be okay. And 25 is young.
It is.
25 is so young.
So young.
We have our lives. We have the rest of our lives ahead of us and so many more things that are going to happen. And, you know, even at 18, that's even younger. And it's like, stop stressing about the little things that are going to work out anyway. You know, do the best that you can and enjoy life. Don't overwhelm yourself for things that
It's not worth it.
Yeah, aren't gonna matter.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think also, I had a thought. It was a good thought too. It was a really good thought. Like, it was like within this realm. And my brain said, ha, you thought. And threw it away. I think the basis of it was, honestly, I take this, especially if you're listening, take this as a moment to like reflect and think back to the kid in you that thought of where you would be, and just recognize the person that you thought you were going to be and how you differ, and give yourself the love and acceptance that you need to accept where you are at currently. Especially for anyone younger who's listening, which you probably shouldn't be listening. We curse way too much for that.
You're not wrong.
But even for everyone who's older that's listening, I think it's so important to check in with where your expectations were at and where you are currently. That felt like a lot of mumbo jumbo, but I swear I meant it in like a good. Does that make sense?
I don't know. Oh. We'll find out.
I feel like Michael Scott, where he's like, sometimes I start a sentence and I have no idea where it's going. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what else also?
Okay, what else?
I don't think that when did I move out from my parents' house? It was like 20, how old was I? 22 maybe?
Okay.
I moved out and I lived by myself for a year until I moved in with my current fiance. My current fiance, as if I've had 5 of them. Until I moved. I didn't think I was gonna, I feel like a part of me thought at 25 that I'd still be living with my parents.
Really?
Yes. I think it was more so like my freshman year, between my freshman and my sophomore year of college, they moved. And that house, I don't know, like it just had so much warmth and family, and like my grandma lived there with us for a while, and we went through COVID in that house, and like I just never thought that I would leave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like I don't know, there's a lot of space, and I just didn't.
You loved it there.
I loved it there. I still love it there. We moved in there for a few months when our house was being built, but I think like 10 years ago or at 18 or whatever, or even when we moved into that house, I didn't think that in 5-6 years I was going to be
out of the house. Yeah.
And that like really destroyed my mom when I moved out too.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's also interesting.
Yeah. No, for sure. I don't know. I like having my space. Like
Don't get me wrong. I love my space. When I lived by myself for that year, I really enjoyed it. I love having my space. I love having my snacks and sitting on my couch and watching my shows and whatever. I don't know, but I had my room, and like I don't know, there's so many memories there, and like the pool was being built there, and it was so I want to move back.
You said there's so many memories there, and all I thought about was falling asleep on the rug in your bathroom floor.
That was fun.
It was a comfy rug.
It was a comfy rug. That was fun.
It was a good... No. I take back the beginning of that sentence because it was not. But it was a good time.
It was a good time.
It was.
So
I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you listen and reflect a little on yourself as to what you're feeling, listening to this. Make sure you guys stay tuned for all of our new episodes because we love you guys. And of course, we want to keep you entertained. So please, please, please,
please,
please. Okay. Send us emails, send us texts, send us a message on Instagram. I don't care. Get in contact with us. We want to talk to you. Please. Pretty
With the cherry on top.
Tell us what you want to hear. Okay, we want to make things that are going to keep you guys entertained as much as us. So if you want to hear something that, you're like, oh, this would be so funny, tell us.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So you can send us an email. Email us at chatmbtea@gmail.com. You can check us out on Instagram. We post lots of cool stuff at Chat MBTea. And you can watch us on YouTube at Chat MBT Podcast, I believe. I don't know, but you'll find us. It's
all linked below.
It's all there. Just check it down there. And last but not least, if you look at this episode on our website, there is a link below this episode that says message us. If you click it, it will send us a text. Well, you'd have to type it, but you can send us a text and get in contact with us. And we want to hear from you. That's the point of all of this. And I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.